Welcome back to The Good Talk, our post-game recap and Q&A show where we discuss the game that we just played and answer all your burning questions, both Warhammer and otherwise. First off, welcome. If you're wondering why we're here and you haven't seen the first part, our streaming computer for the other setup is having some issues, and so it's in the shop right now. So we're here for today. So, of course, if you guys haven't watched the game, the spoiling has already begun because you can see the end of it, so go ahead and watch that now.
Don't look.
Don't look. Close your eyes. Avert your eyes! Anyways, so we just came off of playing Custodes with the Emperor's Chosen.
Children. Emperor's Children.
Against Orc Goths. And, oh boy, look. Well, the rumors were true. That's all I'll say.
Yeah. So, to preface, we discussed several different matchups. We had talked about, because we're going, like, to reiterate, maybe you didn't watch the first stream, or maybe you didn't catch the 5 seconds that we discussed it. We're going to Jesse's birthday party tomorrow.
Happy birthday, Jesse.
And his birthday is a big tournament.
Yes.
And we want to do Jesse right. We want to win his tournament. So
that's right.
So we're both bringing some mean lists.
Yeah.
I'm bringing this. And Adrian, you are bringing Shooty Orks.
Speedwa! Yeah. I think Speedwa is positioned pretty well in the meta right now. It has its own issues. Of course, I have no infantry, no psychers, but you have Custodes around there. You still have things like Crusher Stampede. You have Tau that are tough and shooting out of line of sight. And so we discussed whether we should bring that matchup or not. And frankly, it's very volatile.
Yeah.
Both in this, obviously, this matchup is also very volatile, which is kind of the nature of these armies and these codexes and how they're playing now. But it would be doubly so there, right?
Yeah. Orcs just, I mean, it's also, so we had a choice between a volatile short game and a volatile long game. Because Shooty Orks roll hundreds of dice every turn.
Yeah.
And it takes a while.
It does.
So faced with those two options, this is also a more interactive game.
Right.
Whereas the Shooty Orks, they have two units of Codex. One of them goes up and down every turn, so you can never shoot it, or charge it, or interact with it in any way. And one of them move-shoot moves every turn. So unless you've basically tabled them, you can't interact with that one either.
Yeah.
It's not entertaining, I would describe.
It's amazing. Well, yeah, because the truth is, we really wanted to showcase the new Custodes in a way we haven't done yet, frankly. And so this way we can kind of see. You know, one of the things we discussed was we talk about this as a shooty army, having lots of shooty, but it also has lots of maneuverability, lots of melee. And so this matchup kind of forces that, right? You had to play back. You played well, right? I think we're talking about how Custodes are very powerful right now, but you also played well. You were deployed up in the middle. I got first. You deployed way back. I could kind of get up and get a couple things, which was good. Let me get positioned for a second turn. Frankly, it was looking grim for you, right?
I was scared.
Yeah.
I was literally backed into the corners of the table.
In the corner. No objectives. You didn't raise banners until turn 3, I think.
Yeah.
So that was super interesting. And then the Custodes did what they do, right? That countercharge, the maneuverability for the targeted removal in shooting. It's impressive.
So fast. Yeah. They surgically remove. Like, each unit of bikes can kill 2 units a turn. They just surgically remove. They're like, oh, I shoot that vehicle, and I charge this infantry.
Yeah.
I shoot that vehicle, and I charge this infantry. And the infantry often hides out in places that are safe.
Yeah.
Like, infantry, the things that they want to fight are hiding.
Right.
So they end up hiding at the end of your turn, and you're like, oh, this is great.
Yeah.
They're always safe. Of course I'm to the last. Like,
right.
How would I lose them?
Naturally.
If you just play super cagey, they're like Eldar jet bikes, but on steroids.
Oh, it's so brutal. I had no rerolls for you to turn off. That was an option.
Right.
Transhuman was a factor.
Couple times.
It
was like 3s to 4s though. It wasn't.
Right. But frankly, it's that volatility of like the 4+ invuls and the 5 wounds. The 5 wounds, I think we cannot overstate the how important that is. 4 wounds was you can chunk it. You know, a couple 2 wound chunks. I know I'm just explaining basic math here, but it is very important. There's a lot of 2 damage weapons in the game, and generally they're great. But now you need so many through, and that variance becomes harder and harder for your opponent to deal with.
Realistically a 50% increase in durability against the majority of elite weapons.
Yeah.
Instead of needing 2 wounds to go through, you need 3 wounds to go through. Yeah. And that is huge. And then when you like do the tipping point of 1 command point reroll, flipping one side or the other, because you're talking such small numbers of wounds now, you just don't lose guys. They just never die. And when they die, they just get better. You just Dimension Fallen, +1 attacks on the other 2 guys. It's like almost like you didn't lose a guy in the first place.
So brutal.
Yeah,
man.
it's a very strong style of list. Like we discussed briefly at the end of the game, this list gets even meaner if you take the Caladises out and you put Dreadnoughts in.
Yeah.
You can get 4 Dreadnoughts in for the price of 2 Caladises.
What?
Because these are 220 each.
Oh, that's real expensive.
They're almost dead weight in the list. I mean, we saw them do interesting things. They blocked off position, but
the blocking was the best thing they did this game, frankly.
They're not core.
Like, they weren't bad, but I was kind of like, you know, we had moments, right?
Right,
Is it
right.
even worth killing them
Yeah,
to trade this unit? Because it's like, it's nice, but it's nothing compared to everything else in the army.
It's not the bikes.
You know?
But not being core, they don't get rerolls.
Yeah.
They just get Emperor's Children.
Yeah. Which is important.
It's good. But then, I mean, with Trajan, if the bikes sit around Trajan, 100% of their shots hit and wound.
It's brutal.
It's ridiculous.
Right.
Like, you have to roll 1 into a 1 to not get through.
Yeah.
It just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And then, so you replace those with Dreadnoughts, and now it's even more unchargeable. Like, you have less shooting, but that's fine.
Yeah.
Because you got plenty, 9, 10, 10 Dark Lances, plenty of Dark Lances. You don't need 14 like this list has.
And they hit on 2s with rerolls. What?
Yeah.
But not these ones, right? Partial rerolls.
Yeah.
It's so brutal.
Yeah.
And it's cool. I want to say, if you're a Custodes player, don't feel guilty. I think you feel guilty.
I feel massively guilty.
Yeah.
And
But like
tomorrow,
army.
I'm gonna feel real bad tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because then it's games with stakes, and I like, it's not just a for fun game. I'm like, yeah, your table,
dead. Yeah,
your
it's
table
dead.
lunch turns free. I'm sorry.
Okay, we'll get lunch, you know?
So it's a Jake kind of. Is Jake going?
No, you had to cancel, unfortunately.
Because
Yeah,
I wouldn't feel bad playing Jake with this.
Yeah, yeah.
This is the kind of stuff Jake plays.
It's our buddy Jake is, he's very much into that plot style of play. So
Yeah.
I think, you know, it's all good. I think all these armies, they have their ebbs and flows,
Yeah.
and you enjoy it while you're there, you know? It's just like when we had the Freebooters Insanity, I had no regrets. Because you know that next month it's going to be something else, you know? So that's just the game right now. I think if you have a faction you love and enjoy, don't feel bad about it. So I just want to put that caveat for you.
Yeah, it's the only way to really be okay with, or like to live with playing super competitive play.
Yeah.
Is you have to be okay with just stomping people because it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And
They're trying to do the same to you.
yeah,
You know?
it's how it goes.
Well, I'm sure you guys might have some questions about the game. Feel free to ask us, but I think that generally covers it. MVPs, your whole army.
Bikes, MVP bikes.
Bikes,
they're
for sure,
ridiculous.
yeah,
They're so good. Now that they
exactly.
have free knives and they all have +1 attack.
Oh, it's brutal.
I'm gonna pull up chat because I realize this setup we can't see chat.
I cannot see chat. That
So
would be
I
fantastic.
have to
Yeah.
go retrieve chat.
Yeah, and we're gonna see more of the Goths, y'all. I definitely think they're legitimately good and interesting, and we'll see more of them. I especially want to build up, as I mentioned, more Beast Hog boys because they are crazy cheap. So let's dive on in. If you guys have any questions, let us know.
Zach, we can't see that at
We're
all.
gonna answer them.
You can't see it?
I mean,
Trying.
it's
very tiny.
like imagine if you had font size 3.
3?
That's what it is for us right now.
Okay.
But this right here, that's like a solid 10.
Cool.
I can see 10.
Cool.
Okay, well, thank you, Bryce Clemens. This is an add-on from the earlier question. This is the guy doing the Custodes with the Seraphon.
Right. Yep.
Someone told me that the Carnosaur could be both a Telemon and Caladius, but I like your idea better, which we suggested the Bastiladon.
Yeah.
As for Venatari, just added Pterodon wings.
Yeah. There you go. Perfect.
The Engine of the Gods is a perfect Caladius.
Well, and I think one thing that's really important when you're doing these conversion, not proxy armies, because you know you're hopefully doing conversions as well, but it's important to establish a vocabulary for your opponent to understand, right? You're saying this kind of thing is this, and this kind of thing is this. So even though they're not the same, they can kind of clearly associate it. It's kind of like when we did the AdMech, the Dark
Yeah,
Mechanic.
and now, just so we're clear, Bridger, also, Engine of the Gods is the Triceratops.
With a giant
The point
laser
is the big
crystal on
laser
the back.
beam.
Yeah.
What is the Carnosaur shooting? That's
The Bastiladon has a solar laser on its back, right? That's what we're talking about.
They're both giant
both good.
laser monsters.
Yeah.
Both valid Caladiuses.
in some ways, I think you should do the snake Bastiladon. Blazing cannon snakes!
The snakes coming out everywhere.
And
yeah.
just like whip out.
But yeah, so you want there to be, like you were saying, you want it to be clear that like this giant fighty monster isn't actually secretly a shooty tank.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's, you don't like, you want to be able to look at something and know roughly what it's going to do.
Yeah.
Like, it might, and honestly, with the Bastiladon or the Engine of the Gods, people might be surprised, like, oh, that moves 14 inches with fly. Well, that's weird for a lizard monster.
Still have to,
so
be careful with
you'll
that.
still have to have that conversation of like, all right, have you ever played against a Caladius? Because here's what it does.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nicholas Allen. Hey, Titans. Diving into Tau after seeing the Piper make sculpts. Thinking of Farsight Enclaves. I like their Tenet, Warlord trait, and the strat. Is there something there competitively, or am I crazy?
Yes.
Yeah, 100%.
Definitely.
You're not crazy. With the aggressive style of Tau, it can be tough to get marker lights on those back things, you know? People are behind line of sight, so being able to run up there with like your breachers, always have that marker light, very, very powerful. Obviously, so the biggest downside is you're not going to get the Ethereal. And I think that's largely fine. Ethereal is a great asset, frankly, but you're getting a lot of other amazing bonuses. And
I think
things
you
like
can soup in on Shi and get the command point every turn. I think there's a way that people have found to do it. I've been reading.
But you can also just take an Engram chip, get the same.
It's true.
Frankly, the best thing about the Ethereal to me is
The versatility of buffs.
like the -1 to be hit, 5+ feel no pain, you know?
Yeah, the 5 Philippines is real good.
Especially if you're souping in, then you're like kind of paying a CP to get CP.
Which other armies have to do.
Yeah, that's true.
Most
I just don't know if
armies
it's necessary.
Most
you know?
armies pay to get their CP regen, but
Yeah.
Tau just get it for free.
Why not? Why not?
Good.
So yeah, 100%. I think they're great, and we'll play them soon because we actually think they're very interesting.
Thank you, Hamsterdam. Hey, Titans. Happy Saturday. Trying to paint my Incarn. Do not have an airbrush. What is a good way to paint the swirl around the model? Also, do you have any good method for painting Jane Czar Incarn hair? Thanks.
Washes.
Washes, yeah.
Boom.
We both went there.
Washes.
For hair?
No, for
Everything.
Well, I mean, yes, but for the Incarn swirls.
Yeah.
If you're trying to emulate an airbrush and you're hand painting, washes are going to be your best bet.
Yep. I totally agree. It's going to pick up all that nice texture. You can do some light edge highlighting, but frankly, it's all very kind of amorphous. So you can get like just some of those edges of the swirls and the hair in some ways for like Jane Czar. I would say this very cautiously. Jane Czar's hair, you could do the base layer, do a wash, and then do a cautious dry brush. I say cautiously.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Picking up all the little light sections.
Yeah.
Gotta be careful, make it not look like super scratchy.
It's what you do with Custodes hair if you're like really involved and really want to put the work in.
Sure, yeah.
It really pays off. But
Those types of things benefit from a really soft airbrush.
yeah.
Or dry brush.
Dry brush, excuse me.
Soft.
And also,
Wow, just-
also the contrast paints are I think good for things like hair.
Do we have
as well.
opinions on the
Contrast paint?
new Army Painter speed paint thing, which is basically just a wash, yeah?
I checked it out. Nick had me check it out when we were at LVO.
I haven't tried it yet.
They're cool.
What do
They're
you think? Yeah.
very similar to contrast. They have a few different options, which is cool. So I saw them. I saw him using them. We chatted a bit with them, and they seem cool. Haven't tried them though. But I think my tagline with contrast is always contrast. It's a great wash. You know?
Right, yeah.
It's
great.
a stickier wash, meaning it sticks, it clings. It's a clingier wash.
Clear.
It's
It's that wash you just can't get rid of.
Yeah. Thank you, Highs. Hey guys, I love the new Tau Codex. It is a codex where you can have so many different armies and all units are playable, almost as the Orc Codex when it was released. But the points are broken. Thoughts?
The points are broken on Tau.
Yeah.
I think they're a bit too cheap.
Yeah. Some things are too cheap. Other things could use a decrease. Like a Ghost Keel's not.
Ghost Keel could go down.
It's not doing crazy things for what
Yeah.
it costs.
Yeah.
But I always feel like all my games so far, I've felt like I've had too many units. Like I'm shocked when I look down, especially like little utility units. Like
It's a Drukhari
my
problem.
latest list, I have 3 units of Kroot, 3 units of Kroot Hounds, 2 strike, just like a lot of infantry Vespid. And it's just like, oh my God, there's so many little things that can
Yeah.
score points. While there's like 4 heavy hitters just ruining, my opponent's plans.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I want to see the Flyers get more play.
same.
Oh yeah.
The Tau Flyers are so
Yeah.
goofy.
They're so good. Agreed. I don't know
Like
what
their
else to say.
fighter doesn't have guns that could kill another plane. I don't know
my
what.
God.
I don't know
That's
why they
amazing.
think
I love
like
it.
that's their fighter just has little ion guns.
Well, it's a strike fighter. It's supposed to target ground targets. Their fighter is the Barracuda.
Yeah.
Actually,
Actually.
Yeah. Look.
no, you are correct, Zach. I shouldn't make
halfling
fun of
Zach.
you.
Look, you want to be wrong? I mean, you want to say something completely wrong on stream and then like, we just move on, or you want to?
You're like, look at this guy saying the thing that's right. Okay, Zach, with your right words.
Zach, we're trying to goof on Tau, okay? I don't know if you picked up on that. It's supposed to yes and.
They're cool models too. I think they could use a little love, but yeah.
They're interesting models.
You don't like them? I agree they're not very... So they're very Tau in the sense that I think some Tau things are elegant, but a lot of them have this weird sort of bulbous design,
Right.
which is cool. It sounds like a negative, but it's cool and weird and different, and again, very like fishy. Like a hammerhead shark is a weird shark, but
Right.
it's cool.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I feel about the flyers.
The flyers just
Not working
like
for you?
I don't understand why they have like large gaps and holes in them. Like they have, it's like
One of them has like the...
right. It's like a big frame with just the middles missing. Like they just didn't finish the plane. It's an unfinished plane.
I like it. I'm into it.
What are they doing?
Yeah. What's the reason behind that, Zach?
Hey.
Explain that.
I don't know. I like the way. I love the way
Okay.
they look. So I guess I don't have any comments.
Wow. Zach, you like Tau? Name all the Tau things.
Thank you, Nordic Gaming. Happy Saturday, Titans. Here's a crazy Kroot list.
All right, let's do it.
6 shapers, 6
Whoa.
That's not legal.
groups. Yeah, I still. So they're doing.
That is crazy.
Nordic is doing the thing where you get free slots when you take carnivores, but it still violates the rule of
It's a
3,
common
right?
misconception. People had did the same thing with the smash knobs.
Right.
You get one per squig hogs.
But the rule of 3 still
It's still a
The
rule.
rule of
applies.
3 still a rule.
But anyways,
But so much of this list, as a result, will be not valid. But here it is:
Okay. So 6 carnivores.
6 shapers, 6 groups of 20 carnivores,
Uh-huh.
9 groups of 12 hounds, and 6 groups of 3 Krootoks with 40 points left over. I don't know how well it would do, but it would be fun to play.
Well, this is because we were trying to figure out if you could even legally run 2,000 points of just Kroot.
yeah.
And this illegally does get you to 2,000 points. However, it's not legal.
No, but Kroot carnivores are troops, so you can take more than 6. You take another
But-
a patrol,
Right, so you can get a battalion for 6 and then a patrol for
3 more.
3 more. So you can get to 9 carnivores on only 3 HQs.
And that's.
And then you
that's
can
it.
max out hounds, you can max out Krootox riders.
And sadly, the Greater Narlock is not legal
It's
anymore.
legends.
Which
Yeah.
is that's so sad.
Did they actually update its Legends datasheet, or does it just have 8th edition rules?
I'm not sure. I should check. I have to.
The point
Oh,
of
yeah.
Legends is to not update the rules
No,
anymore.
no, no, no.
but-
So they went to Legends during 9th. So they have 9th edition rules, which are amazing. They're actually too good.
Yeah.
Because it's like
Yeah, they're too
65
ch-
points for like a ton
Yeah,
of
they're too
wounds.
cheap.
They're too cheap, and it's because they're Legends. They're not trying to balance them.
Right.
So
There you
I
go.
think this would, Nordic Gaming, I don't actually think it would be that fun. The big problem is, like, you have no leadership buffs or anything like that, so, like, pretty
Problem.
much what happens with carnivores is they take some losses and they evaporate kind of quick.
Yeah. But that, I mean, that's okay.
interesting.
I guess
Is
that's,
this a problem?
no, I guess not. But they disappear fast.
I don't think it's a problem.
I don't think it's a problem.
I think they're going to disappear for other reasons.
And
Right.
you're not
People
going to do a
disappear
lot of
regardless.
damage. You're not going to do a ton of damage is the other problem.
It's going to be fun. I would love Kroot to get even more.
Sure.
models, get expanded.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Super
They're so
cool.
cool.
After the next Chaos Codex, maybe.
Yeah, I know, right? Jeez.
Maybe in 2050.
Thank you, Siege Roots. Bought 1,000 points worth of models for the Vanguard Spearhead. Why am I this way? Anyway, Storm Talon or Storm Raven gunship, what's more effective?
Seedroot, you're obsessed. This is a Thursday too.
This is
He's obsessed with the Vanguard
It's also a
Spearhead.
strange question relating to the Vanguard Spearhead.
You can't take it.
Right, you can't. Storm Talon or Storm
Storm Talon or
Eagle.
what?
Storm
Eagle?
Raven?
Storm Raven.
Oh.
Wait, those are also 2 very different units. So we have the big ship, the Storm Raven,
is transport.
which is also transport. It has good shots, right? Or the little baby one,
the potato.
the potato.
Right? It's the little flying
Storm
potato.
Talon is the potato one, yeah.
It's that right there.
Yeah, yeah. It's the little gunboat. Well, without context,
Can't have either of them. So, no.
context free, what would you like better?
They're very different things.
Like
they
right now.
serve different purposes. Probably the potato, because it costs less points, and I don't want flyers.
I would take the potato, unless you have really a reason to transport things in a flyer, which you probably don't.
Blood Angels would be the only time I would want the transport.
Yeah.
Because it's
You
just
can put a
thematic.
dreadnought on it.
It's
You
just
can
thematic.
maglock a dreadnought too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's thematic. It's cool.
Yeah. But the Storm Talon at least kind of like fly around and shoot around corners, which frankly is a thing that Space Marines actually ironically struggle with, is
Yeah.
out of line of sight shooting. And flyers are basically out of line of sight shooting, just with more steps.
Remember when Thunderfires were good?
Oh, dude. Yeah, I have my 3.
For like a hot second, they were playable.
Oh, it's great.
Like the model came out, it was broken.
No, it was a while. It was during a Marine Apocalypse. Didn't
Oh,
get fixed.
8th was when, like,
It didn't get fixed until
like early 8th was when Thunderfire came out.
yeah,
it's older
it
than
was
I
good
give it
until
credit
pretty much
for.
the end of,
Yeah.
of the edition. So it was amazing. Yeah. Anyways.
Thank you, Turn to Shadow. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry, I jumped ahead a little bit. Let's go back. Here we go. Thank you,
Back to
Ajax.
Shadow.
We'll come back to you, Turn to Shadow. Thank you, Ajax. How can Custodes players say that they are the best when they literally failed their only job? If they really were the best, the Emperor wouldn't be a corpse. Food for thought. Bridger, what do you think?
He's alive, so.
Where's the
Also, days.
Where's the book? You can do your thing, and then I'll do my thing.
Here's the Codex.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Days since last workplace accident.
Yeah.
Look, everybody makes mistakes.
Don't make mistakes.
Okay? You know who else failed? Literally the entire Imperium. Guard failed long before anybody else. Space Marines also failed. You know whose job it was to keep them from getting to Terra?
Yeah.
All the Space Marines. They goofed it up the worst. Custodes at least killed everybody on Earth. All of them. They cleaned up the mess. Take that. Custodes are still awesome. And
amazing.
in the one time they've ever made a mistake,
You know what I'm looking
they're
for.
very mournful. I know what you're looking for.
Where is it?
They try in the lore. They try to like pawn it off as like, well, it was only once, and we're very sorry, and we didn't really screw up, okay? But we are very sorry about it, and it's tragic, and we feel bad, and we're mourning forever.
I can't bookmark. I need to bookmark it.
There's a whole shield host of Custodes that are just mourning. They're just mourning all the time.
Is that Dreadhost? That's why they wear black? No. Shadowkeepers? Is that why they wear black?
Shadowkeepers are the jailers. Dreadhost is like, we're gonna exterminate you.
Yeah.
Solar Watch is like the Guardians. It's one that's not in the book because you wouldn't play them. They're just mourning.
Just the sad boys.
They're just sad
They don't
boys.
do anything.
They just-
Yeah, there's like at one point in here it talks about like the custodians and how they've only ever failed their job once and never since.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you're like, well, you only die once, as James Bond, would say. But anyways, yep.
Food for thought for all Custodes players.
Look, man, if you're a security guard and your bank gets robbed,
Yeah.
you're a security guard at a bank gets robbed.
That's it. You're done. Never
you
again.
you still gotta live your life.
No, you find a
can't-
new. I'm pretty sure you need to find a new profession at that point.
Like
No,
your
I
life's
think
not over.
all security is outsourced, so probably what would happen is they would just move you to a different location.
Well, that's just an optics thing, isn't it?
I mean, I think it's kind of what Bridger, the point he's
Give him
making.
a real serious answer to a
Yeah.
rhetorical
Well,
question.
you asked a real serious question.
Well, what would really happen is
This
they would
is-
move you to this other bank, and
is
then
serious.
Yeah. Or they might move you to like something else, like a parking lot or something.
park. You get demoted to a parking. You go from bank, security guard at bank, top of security guard, like directly under Secret Service, right?
No.
To
Probably
parking
not,
lot,
no.
very bottom.
The bank is under I don't know. I think you're overestimating bank security a little bit.
Bank security, you
hold on.
stand there quietly, and
What
parking
other
lot, you get to
security
walk
guard?
around.
Bank security is more like
Who in security guarding is above? But I guess you could guard like
what's the highest level of like
Well,
security?
Secret
that's
Service
not-
is the highest.
Oh my gosh.
Sure.
Under that, I think is like you're protecting like a celebrity or something.
We don't know, guys. Let's just.
Bouncer at a bar, higher or lower than
I
bank
regret.
security.
Definitely
regret.
lower than bank security. I'll give you that. I just feel like there's a big jump. I don't know what's in the middle.
Between bank security and parking lot.
Private security probably higher than bank security.
Parking
honest.
lot is the lowest.
Parking lot, yeah. Nobody's talking
You're
about. Zach
protecting
mentioned parking lot.
empty
That's like a
space.
punishment. Which, to be fair, the custodians would totally be
No,
down
you
for
get
it.
to walk around. You get to be outdoors. Like parking lot could be nice.
You could
No,
be a
it's a-
park ranger, Zach.
No, you can't just be a park ranger, Bridger.
It's
if
true,
you're
actually.
working
Ask my
security,
brother.
that's a hard job to get. Like,
You gotta kick a lot of kids out when it gets dark. Let me tell you that. But no, I'm not
Just like
saying
a
it's a
security
bad
guard.
job to be a parking lot security guard. I'm saying it's a little less intense than guarding a bank.
Right.
It requires less.
It's also, I think, inarguably less glamorous.
Oh, it's for sure less glamorous. But like, look, none of this.
glamorous
None
student
of this is about that though, right?
security guard at a bank is a glamorous job.
It's more glamorous than security guard in an empty parking lot, Zach.
Yeah, I think
God.
it's definitely cooler than that. So.
One of them guards actual valuables, the other guards space.
Maybe how about this? Maybe someone in chat actually knows something about this industry.
No, some people have made some comments, but
You let us know.
I don't.
Oh, casino guard, is that,
Casino
where
guard's
does that
pretty.
fit? That's on par with bank for me.
They're pretty intense. Yeah.
Armored car.
Armored car actually is probably more intense than
But that's,
than bank
armored
security.
car is, armored car like
Yeah.
carrying money.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Because that's a whole, yeah.
that's probably above celebrity.
Oh my gosh.
Definitely above celebrity.
But below Secret Service still.
yeah, probably.
Secret Service is the pinnacle of
Guys,
security.
I think we solved it. If you have any more questions about the security industry, let us know.
we
I'm
have
happy to
a
answer.
tier system.
Yeah, that's our
We'll show you our
releasing the
tier system for this.
Yeah,
that we
make a whole video. Everyone's like, oh, is it about the armies? We're like, no.
This is our new
You want that? You go to Art of War.
our new edited content.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Thank you, highs. Almost any weapon is getting higher AP and other super rules.
Yeah.
More and more units are getting invulns or ignoring AP, etc. How would you end this vicious circle? Do you think GW should reset the rules?
Start over.
Well, sadly, that's what usually happens. And I say sadly because it's actually a genuinely difficult problem to solve. But short of that, I think you can do some resets. So, for example, you can just change around the missions, have them require different things. You can place more or less emphasis on killing or surviving or whatever. Like you see older editions, so for example, 6th and 7th, very much about Death Stars. And a lot of that comes to the missions, right? In old ITC, no matter what mission you played, it was always, did you kill? Did you hold an objective? Did you kill more? Did you hold more objectives?
Right.
So every single time, it was always about holding a point and killing things, but also it's just frankly just not dying.
Not dying, yeah.
So that entirely informs the sort of play style that creates also this escalation. And so if you just change the missions immediately, that already changes that. So that's something you can do to maybe help. Don't solve all the problems.
It is, I mean, in game design, we try to keep to small, can kind of digest small numbers, but that does lead to a resolution problem of like, a difference of +1 AP is huge.
Yeah.
A difference of +1 wound is huge. A difference of +1 damage is huge. They can't just switch. A lot of people are like, oh, we'll switch to a D10 system or switch to a D20 system. They're never going to do that.
Yeah.
They sell dice. They're not going to invalidate all the dice they've ever sold.
Yeah.
They're not going to change the whole game system to D10s.
Yeah.
And that just pushes the problem down the road. You still have a power creep problem. I think it's a difficult problem in game design, but there are master classes of how to have power creep slowly over an extended period of time. Magic the Gathering has had the same rules for 25, 26 years, right?
Definitely power creep there, though.
There is power creep, but within a 10 to 15 year, it's a funny thing, the most powerful cards were in the first launch.
Yeah.
Alpha cards are the most broken cards.
Totally, yeah.
And you can look at the cards immediately, a couple years after Alpha, and they're the worst cards they've ever printed, right? And it has crept since then, but there are spikes, there's peaks and valleys, and they still normalize with a resetting system of saying, okay, those cards aren't valid anymore.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I think there's not a formal system inbuilt here to do that. It's not like an intentional reset. It gets used as a reset, and I think a lot of us, especially because people invest a lot of time and money, and you buy the book, and you don't have to buy a new book and a new book and a new book. So there are downsides to it, but at the same time, the additions and the updates can be that reset.
You can have power creep within a reset, and it still feels good. You still get that ramp up. You have the fun of like, oh, the new thing is cooler and better, and then you get the reset in a valley, and then you feel good about the hill again. It's you have to,
especially as long as everyone's climbing the hill together, right? If you're updating the older factions or releases with it, then you still have this problem of escalation. Doesn't solve that, but we're all kind of on that ride together, and then it can reset or whatever.
GW has to find a way to release books faster because a 4-year cycle for the reset, or even longer, like a 6-year cycle, feels real bad if you're at the wrong point in the cycle.
Yeah, well, it's pretty fast now.
Yeah, I don't.
This edition, ironically, is slower than the last edition. I think mathematically, I would think it would end up being like every book was out after 2 years, and we are at, I don't even know how long.
They're doing more campaign books in this edition, which is what's slowing it down. Is they're releasing 3 books, like 3 books a month ish, but one of them's always a campaign book, and that's kind of like messing things up.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, tough problem.
Well, thank you, Turn to Shadow. They're just asking, what model is on the shelf above Magnus?
Ooh, above Magnus.
My baby. My baby. So this is my custom Wazbomb Blastojet. This is the mech fighter from Orks. This is actually what Bridget was just talking about. Because it can...
You bringing that tomorrow?
No, I'm not. Actually, I'm bringing no flyers tomorrow.
Ooh.
Because like Tau.
I respect that.
Yeah. I have...
Because like Tau.
Because like Tau. They're great. They're very expensive, first of all. It's like 220 points for them. And you have to spend a CP to hide them and all that stuff. So I think they can be great. They would be great against Custodes potentially.
Oh, yeah.
But on the other hand, like, yeah, you have Tau that, as we discussed, can be hidden. You'll come in, they'll screen you out, you won't be able to kill them.
Yeah.
Then they'll step out and be like, rail rifle. So instead, my list takes a completely different approach. 12 Custodes, 21 bikes. And just kind of floods the board with bikes, and it gives me OBSEC and kind of trying a new approach.
And the bikes are actually pretty durable to their out of line of sight. AFPs and SMS are not great at killing bikes.
Well, yeah, so the whole army is 5 up in bone when you advance. The bikes are natively -1 to hit.
Yeah.
So
Big against Tau.
it's very, very
And
important.
it's just a lot of wounds.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of wounds.
Yeah, they are. It's a lot. So like a unit of the bikes, they're all 7-mans. So it's 22 wounds.
Oh,
Yeah.
they're not killing that with airburst frag.
No, exactly. And again, out of line of sight. Out of line of sight. If you're in line of sight, everything will die. Soon you're dead. So anyways, this is my custom wise bomb.
Thank you, Martin Easterman. What I'm interested in is if Bridger is still the only Custodes player that can't win with the new Codex, and is still unaware that they are top tier. #no dice.
Wow.
We're behind on super chats.
I won today, guys. I don't know if you watched the game, but yep.
Martin didn't. He definitely just dropped this.
I did win.
Congrats.
And this list is what people, or this style of list is what people are winning with. But
Yeah.
honestly, I challenge you to go out and play other types of Custodes and feel that they are reasonable. They're in a good place after the points changes. This type of list is abusive, and the points changes only made it more abusive.
Yeah.
But in general, I think Custodes are in a fine place.
Yeah.
They just fix this. There's many ways you can fix this. Bikes plus 20 points, fixed. Done. Yep, I did it. Bikes plus 20 points, solved.
Excuse me.
Thank you, Bombard. Tried getting a Tabletop Simulator 40K game in last night using Titan's Discord. Any chance getting videos on TTS or 40K and organizing novice games for us?
Great question. It's a good question for the Discord community mostly.
Yeah.
We haven't really used it.
We don't TTS.
We're lucky and privileged to have a place and a space and a safe place to be able to play in these times. So I only played it briefly when we were on mega complete lockdown, no bubbles, nothing. And so that's kind of, I think, our perspective here.
I don't know how much we can really speak to TTS, because it's legitimately, from what I've heard, a different game. Like, I know it's the same rules, but the way that it's played, the social understandings, it's just so different. And it's funny, because like Warhammer is a social game. We all read the same words on the page and have different understandings of those words, and there's kind of like cultural accepted unspoken rules in tabletop 40K, and those apparently culturally accepted unspoken rules are different in TTS.
Interesting.
Because the shorthand is different, right? Like on the table, I can just be like, I'm 9 away, and I just plop down my models.
Sure, yeah.
Whereas in TTS, maybe that's not the thing. I chose a bad example because it's also a pain. Placing models is also a pain in TTS, but like the things that are fast or slow on the tabletop are different than the things that are fast or slow in TTS, so they have different shorthands. They also have more precise tools, so they're more specific about using your precision.
That's so funny.
There's less sloppy placement.
'Cause I'm the exact opposite
Heavy
on
air quoting.
TTS. I'm like even more gratuitous with just like, I play as intended.
Right.
Which is not, again, not how most people play it. There's whole tournaments that are run, so it's very precise.
Yeah.
So different, approaches to it. But again, I would continue to ask around in the Discord.
Yeah. And Melody's in chat.
There you go.
She's been doing a lot of organizing of this, and these two are able here to chat now because Bombard is here.
Perfect.
But yeah, so we have some people who have been on top of that.
Oh yeah.
Melody, I think Willow has been doing this. So yeah, Bombard their people, and looks like you're getting in touch with them.
Perfect.
Thanks again, Martin. Bridger, now that we are heading for the end of Q1 and Xmas is out of the way, please could you update us on how the TTT Dice production is going? Also, do you miss me?
We do miss you, Martin. And
Hashtag.
you missed the announcement of 2030 stocking stuffers, Tabletop Titans Dice.
We're correlating them with the launch of the Chaos Space Marines Codex.
I would feel bad if Titans Dice came out before the CSM book. So
Would be weird.
I'm pushing back the launch.
Rumor has it, Titans Dice getting second wound before Chaos Space Marines.
Has it.
Rumor has it. Ooh. God, I hate that. This song annoys me so much because it sounds so catty. Like I don't even know the music videos, but I know in the background it's just like ooh, it's like it's so annoying.
Oh my gosh.
Nice.
Thank you.
It's not Adele. It's literally that song.
Thank you, Tulun. Is this list? Is this the list you'd throw into a Tau heavy meta as Orks? That matchup seems like a particularly bad one for the Green Boys, given recent points nerfs.
I would run, well, probably with more mortal wounds, but yeah, I would run something like this.
I don't think this is terrible against Tau at all, frankly. The kill rigs, I still need to test and figure out, because like I said, they are a great unit, but they are susceptible to being killed by Custodes and Tau.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So for me, they're the biggest question mark. I think, as I mentioned, the hogs are great because they're just very efficient. But generally speaking,
they're fast.
And they're fast, yeah. I think truck boys for sure, transports, troops. You know, I think I played a bit of the utility, which is there. So definitely the triple characters, they're amazing. Lean into that. So conceptually, yes. But also tomorrow I'm taking Shooty. I'm taking Speedwall.
Yeah.
So we'll see. As I mentioned, I think once I finish some more of the Beast Hog Boys, then I can really truly test what I think is the best list thereabouts.
It's two solutions to the same problem. If anybody can outshoot Tau, funny enough, I think it is Orks. Because they're just, it's a nightmare.
Well, plus they're fast and they play the same game of like being out of line of sight.
Right.
Because again, whichever of those two can see the other person, they're dead.
And all the indirect of Tau does nothing to Orks.
Nothing.
It's like, oh, cool, strength 5, AP 1, 1 damage. All right, well, on all vehicles. Good luck.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Bridger, you're really going to get raked over the coals here
That's
by
okay.
Martin for the next 20 minutes or so.
20 minutes?
Maybe. Thank you, Martin, again. Bridger, do you remember when you commented that the new Custodes Codex was underwhelming? Was this also a comment on your rules analysis abilities? Okay, food for thought. Bridger in the hot seat.
Where
What
on
do
the
you think?
timeline? Because I went through a roller coaster with the Custodes Codex. On launch, I think I had a very metered response.
You did,
I
actually.
think everybody was going ballistic.
You did. That's been brought up in chat, too.
And I kept,
Yeah,
I kept cool. I tried to calm everybody down. Be like, hey guys, it's fun. That's all I'm gonna say. It's a fun book. You build your cool characters and you charge things.
Yeah, to be fair, I think people generally, the internet, were not positive about the
Lost
book.
their mind.
They lost their mind, and you were being like actually positive about it.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Publicly.
publicly. No, you had thoughts, but
Personally,
you were just like fine. You're
I
like,
was all over the place with the book.
yeah.
Like from week to week, it was.
trying to figure it out.
It's just the way that I want it to play, and I know you can't always get what you want, but the way I want it to play, and I think
Can't always get
what you want. I think weirdly the way that GW wants us to play it is also not spectacular, right? If you're bringing boots on the ground, a bunch of foot custodies, you're here to shoot a bit and then fight.
Yeah.
Like you shoot in preparation. You're chipping with your shooting and then you're fighting.
Yeah.
It's not great. It's okay.
Like power-wise or what?
Yeah, power-wise.
Yeah, well, that's more in line with what you want, right? I think you want all melee or frankly a mix, and this one leans more towards the shooting side of things, and obviously certain types of units. Because like we look at your early builds, very diverse actually.
Yeah, I mean, I was just having fun with the new strats, the new data sheets, the new artifacts and relics, and I mean, we have the whole collection. I just wanted to bring out. Just want to play with my toys, GW.
Yeah. The fact that you have no Blade Wizard here today, which again is Blade Champion,
mind blowing.
that's crazy.
I don't even know where you fit him in. I mean, I now see why there's no Blade Wizard in this list.
Yeah.
It's because like, what do you cut?
Yeah.
It's all.
Everything's great and essential.
It's only all stars.
Yeah.
Except the Clades.
You're like paying for a whole extra detachment for this guy.
I could cut the 2 Clades, put in 2 Dreadnoughts, and the Blade Wizard.
No, you have 3 characters.
No,
Don't
2.
you?
No,
you only have 2 in this list. Oh, okay.
That was one of the things where you look at this list and you're like, that can't be right. That's weird.
Yeah, that
But
is
this
weird.
is post points cuts. Pre points cuts, you just couldn't fit him at all.
Yeah. It's interesting. Anyways, I'm sure we have more from Martin.
Yep, thank you, Martin. Hey, Adrian, great to see Dark Angels last week. Also, you seem to be doing great. How are you feeling about the kit bash opportunities with the new Black Library minis?
The new ones or like Gaunt's Ghosts models? Did they release any new ones?
I don't know.
You mind just pulling up real quick? The Gaunt's Ghost models.
Those are old. Those are like 6 months old, aren't they?
Are the last ones that I remember hearing from. Yeah. So Zach's gonna pull it up real quick.
Because they were slightly after Alea and Valerian?
Yeah. But there's like a Black Library Day coming up or something.
There was a slew of, because there was Valerian and Alea, there was the Harlequin and
I feel like
the
this rings a
sister.
bell.
There
Oh
was
yeah,
Gaunt's
here we go.
Ghosts.
I feel like these are they Horse Heresy ones?
Oh, these are for Black Library? Okay, you want to drag him with the big screen so Bridget can see?
Ooh.
Yeah, so these are gorgeous. This is, of course, Imperial Fists dude.
Large lad.
He looks very Space Wolfy.
Yeah, why does he have a pair of axes?
And a ripe beard.
I like the shield on his back. Like, that's very fists to me,
cool.
but... Oh, the Blood Angel's so cool!
So cool. These guys are awesome. You breaking stuff? Throwing your book? Look, you won.
Looks like that's it. Maybe.
Yeah, that's all I can
So
think
it's two
of.
new models. Cool Blood Angel guy, who's like leaping off a rock, and the largest of lads.
They're
for
super
fists.
cool. I mean, Martin, if you're thinking about Blood Angels, if you're thinking about Dark Angels, the Blood Angel guy would make a super cool smash chap, an interrogator chaplain.
Yeah.
Just need to get an appropriate skull hood for him.
And the fist guy could be a cool Terminator character. He's huge.
He's in like
That guy's big.
It's not like Terminator armor. It's like old,
No, but he's
heavy Mark III or
just
something.
big.
Right? Yeah,
I think he's big enough to call him a Terminator.
Yeah.
With the shield? The shield's the
super
2-up.
beefy. The shield's the 2-up. There you go. There you go.
He'll
Yeah,
just
they're
turn
awesome.
around and you can't hurt him
Totally.
anymore.
Yeah. So that's my slow ball. Here's another one for Martin, probably for you.
Not quite, but we will get back to it. Thank you, Cordius the DM. We don't usually get questions. We often don't get questions like this that come so much later. So we'll have to see what we can do. Here we go. How did the squad on the back objective die? Wasn't the captain fighting the Storm Boys?
Ah,
Oh,
no.
okay. No, we
so,
can do this.
So they were strung out. The Orc boys were strung out between the 2 objectives because
Yep.
he needed OBSEC on the front objective.
Yep.
Or more importantly, he needed 2 units
2
on the
units or
front objective.
OBSEC, kind of having both was nice, right?
Because I was going to, if it was just Storm Boys, I'd wipe them.
Yep.
And then I had the objective.
Yep.
How did the Orcs die? Well,
They were trailed out. Those extra bonus attacks, honestly, were huge.
Yeah.
This is exactly the kind of thing where normally I'd be fine. You got a character, you'll kill them very, very close, but I'll have at least one on the back point.
this is specifically what we called out when I mentioned it. I was like,
That was literally it.
it was literally like he can't kill a squad of boys without this. But with this, he'll kill a squad of boys.
I am super into it.
Yeah, it's
I
cool.
really like it. So that's what happened here. Because I did hold the point. It didn't matter in the grand schemes, but it did mean I could hold on to the point. So thanks for the question. Appreciate it. And thank you for your support.
Yeah, thank you, Cordius. And thank you, El Mumoli.
Thank you.
Yeah, an interesting name here. What changes would you like to see to each greater demon in their 9th Ed Codex?
Toughness
that's a fun
9, greater
question,
than
right?
Clean
Done.
Tough 9, yeah.
Oh, Nurgle?
On
Yep.
greater than Clean 1, yeah.
Okay.
The Bloodthirster needs to make it to combat somehow. Also T9.
No, he should not be T9. But maybe some sort of lifesteal thing.
But if he's dead, that doesn't
Total
matter.
War is like just messing with
Yeah,
me. Like
yeah,
I just
no.
want.
What if every time the greater demon took damage in your opponent's shooting phase, he could move 3 inches towards the nearest
Oh,
enemy?
that's cool.
That'd
That's
be so cool.
What?
So you shoot him and he like gets angry and like jumps forward a little bit.
But again, frankly, you're probably still killing him and shooting. If
Yeah.
it's one of those armies.
Unless he just moves behind a wall.
What if he's like, I know this is gonna sound bad, okay? What if he has extra defenses against shooting? Like -1 damage, but only against shooting. We need to get him in.
Yeah, no, I would actually be okay with that. That's fine with me. And I want him to have the reverse bracketing thing where he just gets angry and strong.
Same.
Yeah.
Definitely.
The bracketing's, by the time he gets there, he's like, ah! So we got that. Keeper's pretty dang close to good.
Keepers are fine. I mean, they're exactly like they are in Total War. They're super
God.
fast.
Total War, the new, as of a couple days ago, litmus test for everything.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
for
yeah.
demons, certainly. And the Lord of Change, he should know all the spells in the game.
He should definitely cast 3. Are
He
you
should
kidding
know
me?
every single spell in the game.
In the game?
No.
He has once
For sure.
per phase. He's allowed to pick one of the not Tzeentch spells, and then he should cast 2 more spells. And he should smite. He should cast 4 spells.
Yeah.
1 is from any discipline. 2 are from the Tzeentch discipline.
Yeah.
1 has to be smite.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
I agree
fun.
with almost all of those rules.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't think he should be able to cast any spell in the game?
Probably not.
Any
All right.
spell of the game is ridiculous.
What if only the named guy can?
No, that's
Still.
it's
Cast any
still
spell in the game.
Like,
ridiculous.
think about the craziness you could do.
How crazy could it really get? He's Kairos Feyweaver. You're paying
my
like
gosh.
600 points for him.
Are you?
He casts any spell in the game, Adrian.
All right, I'll allow it.
That's pretty cool.
Thanks again, Martin Easterman. Adrian, we've heard a lot from Bridger, but as he is struggling to understand the new Codex, maybe you could help him by explaining how best to play Custodes.
Adrian, help me out here. I'm really struggling to play Custodes.
Look, you gotta make your 4s.
I see. That's where I was messing it up.
Yeah.
I wasn't making my 4-ups.
Yes, you were. You only made your 4.
This game. Before he was not aiming for 4s. That was the problem.
Right. I was aiming for 3s.
Yeah.
And I never want to overachieve. You know me.
Yeah.
I do not overachieve. So I was hitting the mark exactly. I was getting 3s, and I was like, why am I losing this game?
You know what it was? You were trying to submarine, but like famously, if you try to submarine, you can also kind of
just submarine yourself. You just
you
keep
can play
going.
yourself. That's what that was.
Dive.
You're like, just the bare minimum. You're like, Richard, just missing the mark. You're like, it's fine.
Chloe, we'll get him next time.
You're like, Kobe, and then you like miss constantly, and you're like, no, Bridger, you have to try, and then he like actually tries.
Every time.
But you still say it, you know? Yeah.
Well, listen, we're entering a slight Martin free zone for you, Bridger,
Okay.
but we haven't heard the last from him. I can
All
say
right.
that.
Okay. Well, that's we
But
look
you're going to
forward
get a little
hearing from him
Martin
again.
break here. Okay. Thank you, Etherean Bunker, as always. Maybe when models I paint are in the game, I'll stay neutral. Not that I'm superstitious or anything. Hip hip hooray for the golden oppressors. 7.
Oh man.
For most things, I'm not superstitious. But I'll tell you what, when we were in Vegas, it's so hard to not be superstitious about gambling.
Yeah.
It's just like your brain just starts to see patterns. You're like, oh, I won when this happened, and I lost when that happened, and then there was this pattern, and so I should really wait a second.
Yeah.
But generally not superstitious, even about like dice.
About dice?
Although I will say the custom Titan dice that we made,
Yeah, you're super superstitious.
they're real bad.
And you made me so superstitious about them.
Through like 30 or 40 games of them, they're just awful.
Yeah.
They roll only like 2s and 6s. But mostly 2s.
Like they should be fine. They're Chessex dice, but you spooked me, man. Like literally, you told me that when we got to SoCal, and I was like, I'm gonna go buy some frontline dice.
What? Oh my God, you guys are ridiculous.
I think a lot of gamers are very superstitious.
Oh.
I'm not superstitious, but I'm a
you
little
are.
stitious.
You are a little bit.
I'm medium stitious.
I'm a little stitious.
Thank you, Michael Sensi. Is 2 Telemon with fists and Culverin is overkill with Emperor's Children list, or would 1 be okay? What would be an optimal list? Thanks for the help with Solar Watch last week. Played Sisters in Eldar with their revealed rules.
Nice.
Ooh, that's fun.
I would probably lean towards not bringing 2.
Yeah.
It's not, how do I say this? Okay, so they're not like more competitive. Bringing 2 isn't more competitive.
Okay.
So in a competitive situation, 2, not great.
Yeah.
In a non-competitive situation, 2 only serves to make your opponent frustrated because they're like, I couldn't kill 1, I certainly can't kill 2. It's just like you're kind of you're all-inning on a problem that doesn't help you win in competitive games, and it's just bullying in non-competitive games.
Yeah.
So I bring 1, bring some bikes in a non-competitive game, a lot of bikes in a competitive game, and then the other Dreadnoughts are honestly fun and cool and get to shine for once. Like the Achilles
So good.
was terrible until this Codex came out. In the whole history of the model, it has not been playable until this Codex. Crazy, right?
Oh, yeah, a little extreme, but yeah.
It's true.
I think he was okay before. It's not as good.
I mean, we
But, yeah.
played him, but like you put him next to a Gladys, and you're like, well, that one has a better invuln.
Yeah.
Which means he gets to charge.
Yeah.
The battle cannon on the Achilles doesn't matter because shoots it once and
Achilles
dies.
is so scary, man. I
Such a
still
weird
remember
model.
fighting it at Vegas with my Crusher Stampede,
They
and
slap.
then they're like, I'm like, all right, how much damage? And I'm like, what? The flat 3? They do the who, the what now?
Yeah.
That's what's just the shooting, I think, too.
The shooting is flat 3, and the combat is I think 3 plus D3.
It's so brutal. It's brutal.
Thank you again, Hamsterdam. Follow-up hobby question: Harlequin diamonds. I like Adrian's Harlequins. How did you do those?
Ooh.
Also, how much does an airbrush really speed up batch painting things as detailed as Harlequins?
We still have a video on the channel
We do?
of you painting.
Well, yeah, we do. We do. Yeah, so these are stencils. The reason I'm making the faces is because I make the stencils, and I used to sell them, but I don't currently. It's a lot of work.
a lot of work.
To manage the Etsy store and be constantly keeping things up stock and sending them out.
Yeah.
However, shout out to people like Fallout Hobbies. They were there before me. They were there after me, making good stencils. And so they're basically, the way the mine work and the way I think most of them work, there's actually not that many people that make them, but they're basically just stickers, right? And so you do your base layer. So for example, for my Harlequins, I'll do them the black, I'll do the gray, do the wash and blue. So I'll do the whole kind of blue coloring, slap the stencil on, do the thing, and then peel them off carefully once it's done curing. and that's it. And it helps immensely, hugely, if you're willing to do that.
Yeah.
The thing I found that was interesting is I was able to, if you don't need a super clean scheme. So for example, you don't need like all the checkers to be all the way around and matching on the seams and stuff like that. It's much faster because I could sort of like press it in, just do some diamonds here, maybe you're fading them out, and then just peel them off and not stress about it. So adding that kind of fade aspect gives you permission to have something that's a lot looser. So if you're willing to do that, I think it's much faster.
Yeah.
If you want them to be perfect, you're spending a lot of time placing those stencils, patching the stencils, taking other individual diamonds to kind of finish and cover them up. And it might not be faster. I've never done it the hard way because that sounds like a lot of work.
Nightmarish.
Nightmare-inducing. So I would encourage you to do the first one. If you do the second one, I'm not sure. You might have to just test it out and see what works.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And quick thank you to Jonathan. Just mentions that he's building some Imperial models to play with his daughter. Thank you, Jonathan.
Oh,
that's cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And thank you, Edward Burke. Telemon, better with 2 guns, 2 fists, or a combination?
2 fists. All day, every day.
Because they also get flamers, right?
Yeah, the flamers come on the fists. And when you do 1 fist, 1 gun, they kind of have this crisis of like, what am I trying to do?
Yeah.
I have enough shooting at something very far away to hurt it but not kill it. And I have enough flaming to flame something nearby to hurt it but not kill it. And then I have pretty good fighting, but it could have 1 more attack.
Yeah.
Whereas if you have 2 fists, you're like, bah, 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 bah. You're flaming enough to actually kill a unit. You're fighting enough to definitely kill whatever you're fighting. Then you don't have this conflict of like, what is my purpose?
Yeah.
Or if you're double gun, you're like, that thing over there, it's dead. Boom. Like I have a purpose in life.
Yep.
So yeah, I go 2 of one or the other, and I think the fighting is too good to give up for double gun. So I go fighting.
Thank you, Martin. Adrian Edwards is asking about the loadout for a Custodes unit using the new Codex. Could you help him out?
Can you help him out?
Brutal. So definitely double fists.
One of each. Say one of each.
Yeah. One of each.
1 fist, 1 gun. But what you really want is the accelerator cannon, because I'll tell you what, that 2 damage is clutch right now.
It's real important. Look, a lot of -1 damage. Don't believe the haters. Thanks, Bart.
You Custodes, just tell them that rule doesn't work.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
Thank you, Sir Nernroot. Rocking a World Eaters army with Berserkers and Warp Talons. Also, Angrath. Any idea on how he will perform? Also, what do I lose for bringing him?
Wait, you were literally...
I was just looking
That's
at
crazy.
that.
All right.
I was just looking at this. Well, he's a demon, which makes you a Khorne detachment, not
Well, you can bring him in
a separate
a
detachment.
separate detachment. Because you're World Eaters, you're an older book, which means you actually don't really lose anything, because you don't have like an overarching rule, right? So if they're in a separate detachment, you don't lose anything. If they're in the same detachment, don't recommend, because you're going to lose pretty much everything. Just don't do it.
Uraka the Warfiend.
Raka. Is he a Lord of War? Probably.
Angrath, he's a Lord of War.
Yeah, okay, so you'll take him as an auxiliary. So
He's Titanic.
He's not
24
gonna get the low
wins.
side then?
24 wins. Oh, he's a 4 pinball, that's not bad. He has 2 denies. He's an aura of 9-inch Khorne demons. Use his leadership, okay, fine. He explodes on a 4-up. And he hits really hard. Strength
deny twice.
10 up to strength 13. Why 13?
Oh, yeah.
That doesn't make any sense.
Love it. I
He has
love
3
it.
plus D3 damage there. At AP4, that's pretty good.
8 attacks.
I just don't know why he's
Jeez.
strength 13.
And he moves 16. Dude, how many points is this boy?
Well, he's 35 power, so it's a third of your army.
Like, I don't hate it.
I think it's
24 wins
fun.
up to 2+.
He moves 16, which
is
fly,
great.
which is good.
It's essential.
It's interesting. It's fun. I think if you're doing Khorne, like
Yeah.
if Khorne is the way of life for you, do it. Because clearly you have the model already, otherwise you wouldn't be suggesting this.
Yeah.
I think it's fun.
It's super fun. Yeah, so just keep them in a separate detachment. You won't lose anything. The only thing I'm trying to remember is for the low size, can you get the demonic low size, do you know?
To get +1 strength? Or
Reroll charges.
that's real good.
It's really good.
But then you would need a 3rd detachment to bring Locust.
No, he is the low side.
Oh, he is?
He's a character, right?
He is a character.
Yeah. So the only question is, do you get that in that detachment? Oh,
This guy's cool.
my Chaos Demons book is not downloaded right now. So that's the only thing I would check. But yeah, just keep in separate detachments. It's not going to mess up any of your World Eater stuff. And enjoy.
Thank you, Mitrodor. Hey, TT team.
What's up?
Going to the local team tournament next month with Grey Knights Sword Bearers. Have only models listed below. Could you please rate the roster from 0 to 10?
Oh.
We'll send the list in the next message. Here's the list. Librarian, Mortal Wounds plus Fury of Demos, Tech Marine, Grandmaster Dremesis Knight, 2 Terminators, 4 Strikes, 2 Interceptors, 2 Dreadknights. Secondaries are going to be Ritual, Stranglehold, and Banners.
So it was a total of 3 Dreadknights.
Yep.
How many interceptors?
2 groups, or 2 Interceptors.
That's what John's going to now.
2 by 10?
It doesn't say that, so maybe 10 or maybe
I would do 2
5.
by 10 interceptors.
Yeah.
Because then you can combat squad them and you have 4 or 5 mans and they can do all kinds of actions.
Yeah. They went up a lot, but I tend to agree. I think it's interesting because I think, frankly, Grey Knights are in a tough place in the meta right now, but you're going to a team tournament. And so that means you don't, you actually can have interesting play into different matchups. It's kind of the ideal. If you have an army that's maybe a little bit off right now, or whatever, it can really shine.
They're not good into the very best armies,
Right.
but they are very good into everything that's like a tier below.
Yeah, everything else.
Tau and Custodes, the 4-up Feel No Pain for Custodes, and the Tau being Tau,
Yeah.
and maybe even Crusher Stampede, all pretty good against Grey Knights, but everything below that, Grey Knights are great. And the Terminators, if I remember correctly, went down in points. So people are running more Terminators now. That's what John's been talking about.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting.
Yeah, I think it's cool. They'll do well. Just make sure that you work with your teammates to set up those good matchups.
He needs a number. He wanted a number 0
number.
to 10, but he didn't say which direction is good.
10 is good.
Are you sure though? Maybe it's golf.
That's very.
Well, why don't you do it using both systems, and that way...
Both systems?
Yeah.
That sounds a little Eurocentric to me.
I don't think I could.
Okay, so,
Is a 5 in the middle of both?
yes.
Is a 5 in the middle of
No,
both?
is it though?
But a 5 is bad.
1, so 0, 10, 1, 9,
So is it a 4.5?
2, 8, 3, 7. Yeah, it's 5. It's 5.
I would give it.
5's in the middle.
In the context of a team tournament.
Like an 8.
Yeah, I think
Like
like an 8.
an 8.
Yeah.
But I won't tell you which way.
Oh
Oh
my
my
god.
gosh. All right. Well, thank you, Mitrodor, and have fun.
Yeah.
And thank you, Siege Roots, again. So since the Starties are starting to really feel the Codex creep, if they do get a Codex 2.0, how do you get them back to top tier without making them OP?
Oh, 3 wounds per model.
But
Oh, God.
Easy.
before CSM gets
Before
their second
CSM get two.
They're lapping us!
We have to do it. It must now
That'd be
happen.
amazing. Okay, so what would we do? Well, why do they struggle right now? They struggle because they're not the most durable or the most killy or the most utility, frankly. So I would help them in one or multiple of these ways. What does that mean?
They're generalists.
They're generalists.
And the game competitively is played at the extremes. So if
Yeah.
they're trying to be pretty good at a lot of things, it's very hard to balance that without
So
them being
tough.
broken
It's so tough.
or terrible.
Yeah.
You can give them more specialist units. The way to make a generalist army is to have an army that has specialists and you restrict the number of different specializations you can have. Otherwise, it's just the best at everything, right? So you say like, okay, so your anti-tank guys, best anti-tank, or like second best anti-tank around, right? They're not the best, but they're real good.
Yeah.
And your fighty guys are like the second best fighty guys around, right? But you can only have one or the other, and you pick. Like your Blood Angels, you're gonna pick the fighty guys.
Right.
If you're Space Wolves, you're gonna pick the fighty guys. If
Yeah.
you're Iron Hands, you're gonna pick the shooty guys. I think they have to make the specialists stronger, because Space Marines is a book of specialists, right?
Yeah.
But the specialists aren't like crazy at what they do, other than Eradicators.
Yeah.
Like Eradicators are real good at shooting. And in fact, I think Eradicators are a good example of this philosophy of like, they're like the second best shooting thing around. Maybe drop their points and then make a restriction. If you have Eradicators, you can't have Blade Guard.
What? Or maybe like a one per like a relationship.
Like an
sort of
A
thing?
or B, right, like you pick a path. Like we're good at this, we're not good at
Like in
that.
Total War.
It's good game design.
Oh my gosh.
I do agree with your principle, 100%.
Yeah.
I think That's what it would have to look like without just continuously upping the stakes. Because the problem is, the way you can go wrong with this is if they're a generalist, you can make them a jack of all trades and also a master of all trades, and that is then that's a worst case scenario.
That's Custodes, right?
That's kind of Custodes right now. Even Tau are like moved closer to this.
Right.
There's still plenty of things that they don't do. They have weaknesses, so that's the difficulty with Marines.
Right.
Is if they're too good at everything.
Crusher Stampede felt like that too, where they were like, we're good at fighting, we're good at shooting, we're good at psychic, we're durable, we're OBSEC for no reason. Good luck, dude.
That was a single thing. I was just like, don't let them have Leviathan, lose the OBSEC, boom, you're done.
Yeah.
It's a very scary army. It's not going to win the whole event because you just can't play 6 rounds like that. So that's where you have to be careful.
Thank you, Josue. Hello, Titans. How's everyone doing? I'm switching craft worlds to Autarch for my Eldar army.
Okay, cool.
I finished building my new Autarch yesterday.
Ooh,
Very cool.
congrats.
Yeah, Josue, you're still in the chat. I'm kind of curious what guns you're speculating you want on your Autarch. I know I put the Dragon fusion gun thingy on mine.
Oh, right, because they're back to like taking anything they want now.
Mostly, yeah.
The new kit comes with a few different gun options.
The foot one, looks like the new foot kit looks very, very customizable, which is awesome.
Yep.
So
Cool.
I'm excited because I have the old metal version of that.
Wait, can you on a bike? Can you take the spook gun? The
Spook gun?
The dragon breath, whatever.
Well, that remains to be seen because this is just the foot guy with the wings and the jetpack and everything.
Oh, well, with wings, that still gets the job done.
Yeah, so you can do that. Yeah, but I am curious to see what the jetpack guy or the biker
bike guy
one
can
gets
do?
because that's potentially super interesting depending on what they give them. Like
I remember you used to
mine's
be able to
modeled with
take like the bike guy with a Reaper launcher, right?
the bike guy.
No.
I don't think so, but I think you could give them a Banshee mask.
You could give them a
Yes,
fusion
you
gun.
could do
Like
that.
mine has the Banshee mask.
Yeah.
So if they get the new Banshee mask, or I'm just like, hey, I charge you, no Overwatch.
Yeah.
That's pretty sweet.
And fight last and +1 to wound and
That would be amazing.
spice.
So sweet, enjoy.
Thank you again, Martin. A lot of talk about who Henry Cavill might be playing, who might play in the 40K universe with his chiseled good looks. So who do you think Bridger would portray and why?
Oh,
A servitor.
a servitor.
Servo's call.
We've
play
determined. We've
Henry
been through
Cavill.
this. We all have
I
like
would
who.
play Henry Cavill.
Yeah,
Right.
it's
We
very
all
meta.
have who we'd want to play, but we all are aware that we'd actually just be lobotomized servitors.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think it's true.
I think they would just take my head off and all the flesh and skin off, and I would be a servo skull.
Not even your head in the movie.
But I feel like I'm a servo skull. That's my skull right there. That's
yeah.
me. The skull.
You get Mike Wazowski. Like, that's me. You're like, is it? You're like, no, it's me. Wait for the credits.
All right, but actually, who I think Bridger could play is the guy. I always forget the name
Night Lord?
of
Are you
these
gonna say
books.
the Night Lord?
It's the guard guy who
Brother
like,
Corbulo.
just always gets away with everything. Is it Caiaphas Cain or whatever?
Oh,
Conrad
Caiaphas Cain.
Kurz.
No, Caiaphas Cain. He would
Does-
make a
they're
great
like-
Caiaphas Cain.
Yeah, because he like never learns any lessons. He always
getting
gets
away with
by
it.
on luck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not a hero, guys. And everyone's like, it's the hero of the Imperium.
Yeah.
That's literally the
He
story
just
of
like
Bridger.
he
Wow.
basically just like lucks his way through life.
That's good.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
Thank you, Fedor. This is Fedor, who we remember previously called Aesop. Fedor.
Oh, yeah.
This time I remember. Oh, here we go. Thanks for another great report. I want to say special thanks after your game Custodes and Death Guard. Comrade calls me Aesop.
Oh, there you go.
That's pretty funny. Yeah, it just looks like Aesop a little bit to us, but we know that's
To
not
you.
what it is.
I don't have the
To
problem.
you, Zach.
Okay. We all. Okay. I mean, this stuff is on the internet, Bridger. All right, here we go.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, and thank you as always, and thank you JW. Farsight Enclave competitive list.
All right.
Burst Star, I guess that's what people are calling.
Okay.
Right. Farsight, 20 Kroot, 2 Breachers and Devilfish, anti-tank Crisis, Airburst Bodyguards, Hounds, Rail Sides, and a lot of shield drones. Yay or nay?
100% yeah.
Sounds good.
This is like pretty much exactly what I would go
I might
for.
switch the rail sides to missiles.
I don't like them.
You don't like missile sides?
They're 2 damage.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I want my rail rifles for shooting downwind.
I think they're both good.
They do have a lot of shots.
They do different things.
Zach shocked me with the number of shots they have. I was like, yeah, I'll tag you with my bikes. And he's like, oh, go with the 24 shots or something crazy. I was like, what?
Yeah.
That's the SMS, right? He's like, oh, no, that too.
Oh yeah.
another-
24 of each.
It's 24 each. It's bonkers.
It's a lot.
And I just actually, there's a lot of ways where your army can suddenly not be like. Every game I've played so far, I'm like, okay, oops, this is honest fours. Like, I need.
like to say honest.
I need the actual dice, and that's what broadsides are good at with missiles. Is like it's still 24 strength 7 shots.
Yeah.
Because there's a high variance still.
Right, you're still going to get a lot of strength 7, 2 damage, AP 2 wounds out.
Yeah, they're not bad. Are these strength 7?
They are.
Wow, I like them even less.
Oh, you thought they were 8?
Ramshackle, baby.
They'd be amazing at strength 8.
Yeah, they'd be better.
They'd be broken at strength 8.
Yeah. Thank you, Ogre Barbarian. Because Custodes are coming together. Yes. Been practicing with Dread Hosts for the Ere We Go.
Nice.
Also looked at Aquilian Shield for the interventions, but I defer to your wisdom. Which shield host?
Well, you have intervention from Company of Heroes. Except it's not that, because that's
That's the
copyright.
strat.
It's Fraternity of Heroes.
Fraternity of
Because
Heroes.
Company of Heroes is copyrighted.
Corporation
so
of Heroes.
They didn't want to do that. So you kind of have the intervention like for free. Like it doesn't really matter what shield host you pick. Everybody intervening is almost never going to come up. So the
Right.
Aquilin Shield, it's cool if that's your thing, but I'm with you with Dread Host, because that is the WA. Or, hear me out, Solar Watch.
Yeah.
Get in there. You charge, and the next turn you fall back and charge. We call it a bad parking job. But you're just always charging.
Everyone calls it that.
Just keep charging. Just get in there. Solar Watch. Just go. Just like that's what Ogres are about. It's just charging.
Ogre Barbarian, if this answer is not exactly what you expected, I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
And I hope you're playing Total War. Play the Ogres. And I have to say, I played both Legendary Lords. Don't play the Over Tyrant unless you want to fight Ogre against Ogre. You don't want to do that.
But it's more of a challenge, right?
It is a lame challenge.
Yeah. The Over Tyrant is
Because he's supposed to be unifying all the Ogres.
unite the clans.
So he's in the middle of all the Ogres, and some of them hate you and some of them love you, and you're supposed to unify all of them and confederate them like the Empire. It's the Empire of Ogres.
Wow.
Or you play the Slaughtermaster guy, he's all the way in the southwest, and you just kill everything around you and you win. And it's awesome.
Wow, sounds great.
Play the Slaughtermaster.
It does kind of suck where you're just like, I'm going to play this faction. And you're like, cool, you get to fight this faction. Like the same faction. You're like,
yeah.
oh, what? No,
Like,
I'm unique, okay?
I specifically chose Ogres to bowl over smaller
Yeah.
people. I didn't choose Ogres to fight other Ogres.
Exactly. I'm the only Drow Ranger, okay?
Exactly. Yes. Adrian gets me.
Thank you, Chris. Building 50 power level Custodes Crusade list.
Cool.
New to Crusade, so I don't know what to take. My group prefers no characters, no Trajan, which I think you can't
No
take
named
anyway.
characters, yeah.
Yeah. What should I bring?
Cool.
So many options. Okay.
Yeah.
Crusade is a great place to try out all 3 different kinds of Shield Captain because they are very different, especially from the Captain Commander upgrades, which, I mean, I think you can, I don't know if this is actually part of their Crusade rules, but I think at home you can just say, like, I'm going to start without Captain Commander, he's going to be cheap, and then as he gets cooler, he earns Captain Commander, maybe he'll earn Victor of the Blood Games, get that second Warlord trait, stuff like that. But yeah, all the different Captain Commanders really change because they're locked to which type of Shield Captain you are.
Yeah.
So that's like a cool, interesting way to grow a character because there's so many buffs you can put on Custodes characters. To have them earn their keep is cool. Terminators, I think, are cool in Crusade. There's a lot of units that are fun that you just don't often get to see in normal games.
Yeah.
They get overshadowed or outshone. Even like the sister characters could be awesome.
Oh, that'd be so cool.
Like the relics and warlord traits
Yeah.
for the sisters are dope. They're just not Custodes, so we don't play them. But in Crusade, like I would want to see a sister superior just like chopping people up with her sword. Her like AP 5 sword is just like, you're dead, stupid
I'd for
orcs.
sure run a sister's character in Crusade.
Yeah. I mean, everything in the book is fun and thematic.
Yeah. Do a bit of a sampler platter,
Just
you know?
avoid missile bikes.
Yeah, that's not a good time. Especially on those earlier missions.
And thank you, Mart. Thank you, Martin. What was that? Thank you to Adrian, Zach, and Bridger as well for a great show. Big thumbs up for Bridger taking all the jabs in the ribs. It comes from a good place.
Of course.
Of course.
We always appreciate the support, Martin, and glad you enjoyed the show.
Yeah.
We had a great time. Speaking of which, we're coming to that time of day.
Was Zach, are we done?
Yep.
Okay. Because I was like, that sounded like a final super chat from Martin, but I didn't know if that
he was
a
very subtle.
Final super
He
chat.
gave us like a little thumbs up. It was very subtle. But now we've talked about it, so doesn't matter that he was
Now it's
subtle
not
anymore.
subtle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I ruined
it. you're that person. Anyways, this was an awesome game, very interesting and educational for both of us. So, you know, it's just always cool to see, like, things are changing. We hadn't seen these new absolutely brutal Custodes. If you have a Custodes army, now it's time to play them, because they're a lot of fun, and they're brutal.
Yeah.
What is coming up? As we mentioned, we're going to have a vote up for Tuesday. Tomorrow, we're going to this birthday party tournament, so we'll be posting around Instagram, Discord, probably. And so we'll kind of let you know how that goes. But it'll just be fun to have, you know, 3 games of Warhammer in a day with our friends. So that'll be awesome. And yeah, just a reminder, next week we will have Hobby Titans. Just keep your eyes and ears peeled. We'll get the stream going. Things are going to be a little bit different, but you know what? We got a hobby, so can't stop us. Anyways, thank you all so much for hanging out with us. It's been a lovely, lovely afternoon. We'll catch you next time on the Tabletop.